everyone, welcome. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, your one-stop morning show for the biggest news stories from India and around the world. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi answers critics, says government committed to reverse slowdown. Reminds GDP has not fallen to 5.76% for the first time. Reserve Bank of India keeps a repo rate unchanged, also cuts economic growth forecast for current fiscal to 6.7% from earlier projections of 7.3%. India and Djibouti sign agreement to establish regular foreign office-level consultations during President Ramnath Kovind's visit. President in Ethiopia on the second leg of Africa tour. And Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna enter quarterfinals of women's and men's doubles match at China Open. Our top focus this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hit out at critics over GDP growth figures that slipped in the April to June quarter. He said that a handful of people are working to weaken the reputation and honest social structure in the country. Now, while saying that not everything that the critics is saying is wrong, he said that his government is committed to taking firm measures to strengthen the economy.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured that India's economy is on a firm footing and that the government will not stake the country's future for immediate gains. Inaugurating the Golden Jubilee Year celebrations of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, the Prime Minister said the government is committed to reversing the falling growth rate.
साथियों, ये बात सही है कि पिछले 3 वर्षों में 7.5% की औसत ग्रोथ हासिल करने के बाद इस वर्ष अप्रैल-जून की तिमाही में जीडीपी ग्रोथ में कमी दर्ज की गई है। हम इसका इनकार नहीं करते, लेकिन ये बात भी उतनी ही सही है कि सरकार इस ट्रेंड को रिवर्स करने के लिए पूरी तरह से प्रतिबद्ध है, क्षमतावान है, हम फैसले लेने के लिए तैयार हैं।
The Prime Minister also said he has asked the GST Council to identify bottlenecks and technological hurdles faced by businesses, especially small and medium enterprises. He also said that his government has the courage to take bold decisions like demonetization and implementation of GST, which the previous government lagged.
सरकार ने देश में संस्थागत ईमानदारी को मजबूत करने के लिए काम किया है। ये सरकार के अथक परिश्रम का ही परिणाम है कि आज देश की अर्थव्यवस्था कम कैश के साथ चल रही है। डीमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद कैश टू जीडीपी रेशियो अब 9% आ गया है, 9% आ गया है।
While saying that the centre will graciously accept criticism on the economic front and will make amends wherever necessary, the Prime Minister said that while his critics were seeing slowdown in the last 2 quarters, they were ignoring the fact that the BJP government has brought down inflation from 10% in the UPA regime to 2.5%, shrunk current account deficit to nearly 1% from 4%, and brought down fiscal deficit to 3.5% from 4.5%.
साथियों, क्या आपको लगता है कि ऐसा पहली बार हुआ है कि देश में जीडीपी की ग्रोथ किसी तिमाही में 5.7% तक पहुंची है? क्या पहली बार हुआ है क्या? पिछली सरकार में 6 साल में 8 बार ऐसे मौके जब विकास दर 5.7% या उससे नीचे गिरी थी।
Quoting the RBI, the Prime Minister said the growth is expected to improve to 7.7% in the last quarter of the fiscal. The Prime Minister also credited the BJP government with pulling India out of the Fragile Five group and making it the fastest growing economy for most part of its 3-year rule. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the centre has urged state governments to reduce VAT on petrol and diesel by 5%. Now, the move aims to provide more relief to the consumers. Addressing the media in New Delhi, Petroleum Minister Narendra Pradhan said that the states are ultimate beneficiary of taxes levied on petrol and diesel, and they should take responsibility like the central government in the interest of consumers. Narendra Pradhan also asserted that the Finance Ministry will write to all the states on slashing VAT levied on the two products. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, who is on a visit to Bangladesh, also urged the states to cut sales tax or VAT on petrol and diesel to provide further relief to consumers from high fuel prices. Jaitley said that the 2 rupee per litre cut in excise duty on petrol and diesel was done to give relief from relentless increase in prices.
राज्यों के अपने अपने कमिटमेंट और स्पेंडिंग स्ट्रक्चर है। उसके बावजूद हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि सारे राज्य इनॉगरेट्स पार्टी लाइन इस बात को रिस्पॉन्स देंगे और सब टैक्स वैट घटाएंगे, ऐसा हमारा पूरा उम्मीद है।
And on to the other top story, the Reserve Bank of India kept the repo rate unchanged in its fourth bi-monthly policy for the financial year 2017-18 on Wednesday. The RBI has also cut the economic growth forecast for the current fiscal to 6.7% from the earlier predictions of 7.3%. Here are the details.
The central bank provided no respite to loan borrowers ahead of the festive season. The RBI Monetary Policy Panel voted to retain status quo. The repo rate, or the rate at which the RBI lends to the banks, has been retained at 6%, and the cash reserve ratio, the amount of deposits banks park with RBI, was kept unchanged at 4%. The Apex Bank also raised inflation projection to 4.2 to 4.6% for the second half of the current fiscal due to firming global oil prices and uncertainty on the kharif crop output.
MPC reviewed current and evolving macroeconomic and financial conditions and decided to keep the policy rate unchanged at 6% while maintaining a neutral monetary policy stance. This was by a majority of 5-1. The MPC reiterated its commitment to keep headline inflation close to 4%. We expressed concern about the loss of momentum of growth in the early months of 2017-18.
The RBI also said that the implementation of GST adversely impacted manufacturing and may delay investment revival. Industry chambers had pitched for a rate cut to propel private investments to provide a booster shot to the economy.
The concern on the top is the employment that is not being generated, and so the industry was extremely hopeful that the RBI will be focusing more on growth rather than only simply containing the inflation. Unfortunately, हमारी growth जो industrial production है वो कम होती जा रही है. एक्सपोर्ट्स बढ़ नहीं रहे हैं जिस तादाद में बढ़ने चाहिए थे. एम्प्लॉयमेंट पर इसका काफ़ी बड़ा असर पड़ा है. लेकिन आरबीआई ने, मैं समझता हूं कि उन्होंने अपना ध्यान जो है वो केंद्रित किया है कि किसी प्रकार से इन्फ्लेशन को रोका जाए. किसी हद तक वो भी ठीक है कि भाई जब इनकम लोगों की बढ़ नहीं रही है तो इन्फ्लेशन अगर उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा पड़ेगा तो उनके ऊपर दोहरी मार हो जाएगी.
The RBI underlined that the recent structural reforms are improving business environment, transparency and increasing formalization of the economy. It, however, cautioned that concerted efforts are needed to restart stalled investment. The central bank also stated that it will continue to work towards resolution of stressed assets in banks. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
And President Ramnath arrived in Addis Ababa for a two-day official visit to Ethiopia. He is the first president to visit the country in over 45 years. President Mulatu Teshoma and other top government officials welcomed the president upon his arrival at Bole International Airport. During his stay, the president is expected to discuss the bilateral and multilateral issues that will enhance relations between the two countries. India's relationship with Africa has been growing since the Indo-African Summit in 2015 in Delhi, which saw the participation of more than 40 African leaders. President Ramnath Kovind addressed the Indian community in Addis Ababa. He hailed them for earning respect for their country in Ethiopia by contributing in the nation building and creating economic opportunities. He also praised them for popularizing Ayurveda and yoga. Referring to Operation Rahat that evacuated Indians from war-torn Yemen, he reiterated that the current government is the one that cares for its citizens.
To our Indian community here, I assure you that we will be there behind you to hold and support you when you need us. Be it Operation Rahat, or providing help to people in Libya or USA, we have kept our promise. Ours is a government that cares, a government that provides. With India's growing stature and recognition come greater expectations and responsibilities. We want to do more as a development partner for Ethiopia. You can be a critical connect between the two countries in this endeavor.
And earlier during President Ramnath Kovind's visit to Djibouti, India and Djibouti signed an agreement to establish regular Foreign Office level consultations. The agreement was signed after President Kovind and his Djiboutian counterpart Omar Guelleh held talks. Here is a report.
On a two-day visit to Djibouti, President Ramnath Kovind had a summit-level meeting with his counterpart Ismail Omar Guelleh. An agreement to streamline regular Foreign Office talks was signed in the presence of both leaders. President Kovind urged the Djibouti President to ratify membership of International Solar Alliance by the country's parliament.
Djibouti is a founding member of the Solar Alliance, launched by His Excellency Prime Minister Modi, last year.
Djibouti is the founder member of International Solar Alliance along with India and France. This no doubt indicates Djibouti's desire to chart its own independent path, even as China and the US are not part of the alliance. Djibouti has shown itself as a friend of India by coming to its aid to evacuate Indians trapped in war zones of Yemen.
The President appreciated the help that was given to Indians who were caught up in the war zone in Yemen in the rescue effort in Rahat operation, and also invited the President on behalf of the Government of India to attend the Solar Alliance Summit that is going to be held in India in December 2017.
Djibouti is important for India because of Chinese military base. At the time of the Doklam standoff, China tried to showcase its military powers from there. India wants to persuade Djibouti not to allow its soil to be used for provocative activities. Djibouti is alive to Indian sensitivities, which was seen in the way Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received President Kovind in a warm ceremonial welcome. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu inaugurated the World Space Week on Wednesday at the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. Vice President said that ISRO has been achieving good results by taking up a space research at its lowest cost compared to other countries. He also recalled the contributions made by scientists like Satish Dhawan and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Since the baby steps with the launch of first sounding rocket from Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launch Station in 1963 and the first satellite Aryabhatta in 1975, India has made giant strides and has emerged today as one of the leading space-faring nations, thanks to the visionaries like Professor Vikram Sarabhai, Professor Satish Dhawan, and former President, great son of this country, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Vice President Naidu also addressed the 49th convocation of Acharya N.G. Ranga Agricultural University in Nellore. Addressing the event, he said that increased production and efficient distribution of food grains can move our country forward to achieve the goal of zero hunger and adequate nutrition for all. Andhra Pradesh Governor and Chancellor of Angrao E.S.L. Narasimhan and State Agriculture Minister Somi Reddy Chandra Mohan Reddy were also present on the occasion.
You cannot have an imported food security. You must have a homegrown food security. That is the principle one has to understand very clearly. Not only scientists, but also the rulers, the planners, and also the farmers. They should all understand with the growing population and with the changing food habits and with also improving economy, the intake is increasing, the demand also is increasing, and the production also has to adequately increase.
And Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan on Wednesday said that the SAARC countries should join hands to make the region an abode of peace, progress and prosperity. She also called for a collective front in the Southeast Asian region, saying that it is imperative for the global success of Sustainable Development Goals. Now addressing the 8th conference of the Association of SAARC Speakers and Parliamentarians in Colombo, she said that SDGs should be implemented in this region before any other place, as this geographical area held the key to fulfillment of these goals elsewhere. She also said that India had sincerely chosen the path of removing poverty by empowering the poor. Mahajan also said that the oversight and legislative functions of national parliaments must be further strengthened to implement the Sustainable Development Goals that are part of the 2030 agenda. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Thanks for staying with us. The government has decided to rename Gujarat Second Law port as Deen Dayal Upadhyay Port. The decision, effective immediately, was taken at a Union Cabinet meeting in New Delhi yesterday. The Union Cabinet was also apprised of a memorandum of understanding signed by the Railways Ministry with Switzerland that will help the two countries to develop tilting trains. The MOU, signed on 31st of August this year, will enable technical cooperation in areas like traction rolling stock, EMU and train sets traction, as well as freight and passenger cars. The Cabinet also approved the ratification of the extradition treaty between India and Lithuania. It will provide for the mutual legal framework to deport terrorists, economic offenders and other criminals. Besides this, the Union Cabinet also gave ex post facto approval to an MOU between India and Myanmar to upgrade the Women's Police Training Centre at Yamethin in Myanmar. And the Election Commission has said that it would be logistically equipped by September 2018 to hold simultaneous polls for Lok Sabha and assemblies. The announcement by the poll panel came days after issued formal direction that paper trail machines will be used in all future elections where polls are held using EVMs. Now, speaking in Bhopal, Election Commissioner O.P. Rawat said that in response to the centre's query on what it would require for becoming capable of holding simultaneous polls, the panel asked for funds to purchase new EVMs and VVPAT machines. The poll panel also said that it has already placed the order for the purchase of new EVMs and VVPAT machines after receiving funds from the centre. He said that the poll body would get 40 lakh VVPAT machines by September 2018. And after BJP Chief Amit Shah, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath arrived in Kerala on Wednesday to canvass public support against the ruling Left Party. Now, BJP has launched a 15-day Protect the People's March in protest against the political killings of RSS workers in the state. While the BJP alleges that it is the left's nature to grab power at gunpoint, the left has said that the violence in the state is RSS doing.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath arrived in Kerala's Kannur district on Wednesday to participate in BJP's Jan Raksha Yatra. Adityanath undertook a 7-kilometer march along with Kerala BJP leaders against the ruling CPIM for allegedly targeting BJP workers in the state and said that there was no scope for political violence in a democracy.
कम्युनिस्ट सरकार को त्रिपुरा और वेस्ट बंगाल की सरकार के लिए यह यात्रा एक आईना है कि वे अपने कृत्यों के बारे में पश्चाताप करें और निर्दोष लोगों की हत्याएं बंद करें। यह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, लोकतंत्र में हिंसा के लिए कोई जगह नहीं, लेकिन यहाँ पर निरंतर राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ताओं की हत्याएं हो रही हैं।
BJP President Amit Shah had launched the Yatra from Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's hometown in Kannur on Tuesday. The Yatra will travel through the state before culminating in Thiruvananthapuram on the 17th of October. Several senior party functionaries are also likely to join the 14-day march. Shah also announced the Padyatra campaign against political killings in Kerala in all state capitals.
जब से यहाँ पर कम्युनिस्ट गठबंधन की सरकार आई है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी और राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ के 13 से ज्यादा कार्यकर्ताओं की हत्या कर दी गई है। केरल में पयन्नूर से लेकर त्रिवेंद्रम तक जाने वाली है और हर रोज केरल की जनता को एक कम्युनिस्ट हिंसा के खिलाफ एकजुट करने का काम करने वाली है।
Senior left leaders have called BJP's march a disinformation campaign and blamed the violence on the BJP itself.
What baton is Yogi Adityanath to take? Their relay race is a race of violence, of terror, of intimidation, of bullying, because these are all encounter specialists. This is in the DNA of the RSS. So when they go to Kerala, people of Kerala will show them the schools of Kerala, they will show them the hospitals of Kerala, and let Adityanath learn from the hospital and health system in Kerala to help the poor children of Gorakhpur.
Kerala has been witnessing widespread tension due to BJP-left political rivalry in the state. While BJP accuses the ruling left government of promoting the killings of RSS workers in Kerala, the left leaders claim that at least 85 leaders have been brutally killed by RSS supporters since 2002. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
News from Bangladesh now, where a $4.5 billion agreement was signed in the presence of Finance Minister Arun Jaitley and his Bangladeshi counterpart AMA Muhit in Dhaka on Wednesday. Now, the credit agreement focuses on infrastructure and social sector development. The new Indian line of credit will fund 17 major projects in Bangladesh that include electricity, railroads, as well as roads, shipping and ports. Bangladesh will pay an interest rate of 1% a year. It will have 20 years to pay back the loans with a grace period of 5 years. Jaitley said that India has stood by Bangladesh's attempts to develop and will continue to do so in future as well. The agreement was announced during Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's visit to India in April this year. And the United States has expressed concern over the future of the Pakistan government and wants to ensure long-term stability in the country. Now, the statement comes after a meeting between US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Pakistan's Foreign Minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif, who is in the United States. The ties between the two nations are frayed after President Trump accused Islamabad of sheltering terror groups. Pakistan's foreign minister has defended his country's role in war against terrorism. Now, Tillerson said that he sought to allay Pakistan's concerns over President Donald Trump's new South Asia policy. Later, a statement issued by Pakistan's embassy said that the US and Pakistan shared a common desire for peace and stability in Afghanistan and the region at large.
I think the Pakistan relationship and the U.S. relationship is extraordinarily important regionally. And as we rolled out the South Asia strategy, we spoke about it in a regional context. And this is about the importance of Pakistan and Pakistan's long-term stability as well. We have concerns about the future of Pakistan's government, too, in terms of them. We want their government to be stable. We want it to be peaceful. And many of the same issues they're struggling with inside of Pakistan are our issue. It really is a regional approach, and Pakistan is critical, I think, to the long-term stability of the region.
News from Spain now. After a bitterly contested independence referendum on Sunday, Catalonia's leader has launched a strongly worded attack on the King of Spain for failing to heal the country's divisions. In a TV address from the headquarters of the Catalan government in Barcelona, Catalan President Charles Puigdemont said that King Philip VI had missed an opportunity to mediate in the political and constitutional crisis that has engulfed the country. He accused the king of adopting the Spanish government's position. The comments come after King Philip VI, in a TV address on Tuesday, said that the Catalan leaders had acted outside the law for pressing ahead with their moves towards secession. Puigdemont has demanded mediation and has indicated that Catalonia could declare independence next week. Catalonia is an autonomous region of Spain located in the northeastern part of the country. Now, during the referendum held on Sunday, nearly 900 people were hurt as police violently tried to enforce a Spanish court order suspending the vote. Catalan officials say that 90% people voted in support of independence.
Per això, el missatge que el cap de l'Estat va voler adreçar a una part de la població no el podem compartir ni acceptar. El rei fa seu el discurs i les polítiques del govern Rajoy, que han estat catastròfiques en relació a Catalunya, i ignora deliberadament els milions.
And let's get you some more news from across the globe in World Wrap. The ruling Nepali Congress has decided to form a democratic alliance for the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. This in order to counter the Maoist party's alliance with the largest communist bloc. Nepali Congress leaders say that a unity of leftist force is a threat to democracy. Nepal is set to hold provincial election on 26th of November and parliamentary elections on 5th of December. Scientists Jacques Dubochet, Joachim Frank and Richard Henderson have won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry for cryo-electron microscopy. The three European-born scientists were awarded the prize for developing a new way to assemble precise three-dimensional images of biological molecules like proteins, DNA and RNA. Their work has led to better understanding of viruses like the Zika virus. Russia reduced oil production by 346,000 barrels per day in the month of September. This has been revealed by the country's energy minister. Alexander Novak told reporters that Moscow cut its oil production more than the agreed quota in the deal between OPEC and non-OPEC countries. In November 2016, OPEC agreed to reduce its production, and the following month, 11 non-OPEC countries also agreed to cut production. Russia joined with cuts of its own of 3 lakh barrels per day. The operator of Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant has been given initial approval to restart reactors at another atomic facility. Japan's nuclear regulator approved an application from Tokyo Electric Power to restart 2 reactors at Kashiwazaki Kariwa, the world's biggest nuclear power plant. This marks the first step towards the firm's return to nuclear power generation, more than 6 years after the March 2011 triple meltdown at the Fukushima plant. And on to sports news now. Ace Indian tennis players Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna have entered the quarterfinals of the women's and men's doubles match in the ongoing China Open. The pair of third-seeded Sania Mirza and Peng Shuai defeated the Belgian and Dutch pair of Elisa Mertens and Demi Schuurs 7-5, 6-2. In another match, the pair of Rohan Bopanna and Pablo Cuevas emerged victorious against the Chinese team of Mao Xin Gong and Zhe Zhang 6-0, 6-4. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of news. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.